And hello to all my friends. I'd like to welcome you in. My name is Scott Sagent, and today I'll be doing your free psychic tarot reading for part 2 of July. This month we broke it down into part 1 and part 2, so this is the secondary part of July. Huge ramifications in this reading. Usually we do a mid-month reading here, and that is just an update. But here, this is a 2-week reading, so this carries a lot of weight. This is divination from right now, July 17th, under the new moon, all the way through the end of July. So important things lie ahead, guys. But we're going to get started with your reading right here, right now, guys. And this is going to be a lightning style, very fast-paced reading. So I'm just letting you know that if you would like to jump ahead to yours, you can. It's in the description. It is also broken up into chapters, but since it is a fast-paced style reading here, we're going to blip through them very, very quickly. So you might just want to watch some of your friends and neighbors' messages here as well. So we're going to get started here, guys, for the mid-month through the end of July, using every single oracle card deck that I have, every single angel card deck that I have too. And here we go. I'm just ritual cutting, and then we're ready to run them. We're starting off with Virgo, by the way. Virgo is coming in hot, starting off here for July part 2. All right, here we go, Virgo. I got a person here. Let's see what this person's doing. Okay, is that a person? Yes. Okay, we got people all over for Virgo. Lots of people activity going on here. I'm actually going to leave that one off. Okay, so we're good to go. River, just one more discard to see if it needs to be upright, and it does. Everything needs to go upright for a Virgo. Virgo getting a nice clean read, as it turns out. Okay, Virgo, the first thing we want to talk about here as we enter part 2 of July here, the last couple weeks, is the home. Home energy comes in here, so home is very important. Put the energy into the home. It can be about that. It can be about doing home projects, home renovations, putting money into the home or something for the home, for the family. That's really what comes in very nicely here. It either means that you're doing this already, and if you are, thumbs up from the universe, you're on the right path. Otherwise, this is a good time for the rest of my Virgos to work on something within the home environment, the home construct. We have a person coming in here, actually 2 people, like I said, we got a bunch of people. The first one is a male, okay, and then we have a female coming in behind that person here. So it doesn't necessarily mean that you are either of these people, but we definitely have both. They're both coming in nice and clear, so maybe it means working together or doing things with other people. Maybe you're the woman and they're talking about a man that's involved here with you, or maybe you're the man and they're talking about a woman who plays a part in this role also. So this is people working together for my great Virgos. The woman comes in kind of like a work woman, and the man comes in kind of like either the boss or very, very smart and sharp. So these are working together as a team here, so very good there for Virgo. That's what they wanted to talk about for the second part of your July. Next we move into some Cancer. Cancer is next. Jumper for Cancer, and a big theme. Coming in entirely blocked, so we're going to do a discard, and Spirit wants to upright that as well. So we got Virgo and Cancer both coming in completely clear, as it turns out, but by proxy, not by itself. So let's see what we got here, because you guys also get an Oracle Angel card to talk about what is going on for this big theme of Cancer here in the secondary part of July. We start here with legal, my legal card for Lady Justice. Some of you may be going through some legal things. This is also contracts, agreements, anything you put your signature on could be coming up here. For some people, I'm seeing like a car loan, buying a car, something like that, or taking out a loan for different things. This is coming in pretty good. And if it's a legal matter here too, this would be some kind of legal thing getting maybe resolved or starting in the bottom part of July here. And it's looking very good. So the universe is saying move forward with whatever this could be for you, Cancer. If you have an idea, hopefully I've given you enough context you can make sense of that. The other part of that definition, if they're using the energetic definition, is that this Lady Justice is return of karma. So you Cancers are getting back here in the secondary part of July what you put into something. Very big return here. It doesn't mean if it's good or bad, it just means that it's a return. Usually it's good though, especially for my great audience. I just noticed I missed a person here, and it is a person, so I'm glad I checked that. They bring in a younger person for you Cancers. That this is usually not you. This is somebody very attached to you. And why are they bringing up them for this month? Well, this person has something to do with something going on in their love corner that is extremely important they wanted to bring up here. This is a younger person, so let me just kind of paraphrase it in this way, that usually this is a younger person than you, usually a generation gap younger. This would be something like like your child's age more than likely for most of my audience, or at least, multiple years younger. So a generation gap younger. So this person's coming in because they have something important going on in their love corner. Either they're getting involved with somebody romantically, or maybe getting engaged, moving in together, different steps for different people, but that's what's coming in. That's what they want to talk about. And now back to you. They talk about time for a nap, Cancer. So make sure you're getting enough rest. There is maybe a lot going on here as we go through July, a lot of stuff that you Cancers are dealing with, and they want to make sure that you give yourself time to relax, give yourself time to hit the reset button and catch up and recharge those batteries. So make sure you're doing that secondary part of July. Actually, a good time to take a little mini vacation there too, Cancers. All stuff to consider as we move into Pisces. Pisces is next. All right, Pisces, we got 2/3 block. I'm going to discard it, and they want to leave it that way. So the first thing we're talking about for Pisces is an event. A lot of Pisces are being invited to an event or putting on an event, maybe gathering, family gathering, party. Maybe it's a work thing. For some of you, it is work. It is a Wands card, so I always have to start with work. But here, this is just basically an event. So maybe this is you doing something with a friend of yours, maybe going to the movies, going to do something that you wouldn't normally do. And Spirit is calling this an event. So an event comes in for late July for a lot of my great Pisces, and this is something you should do. It's looking very good. Otherwise, they'd flip that card around and say, you know what, Pisces, don't go to this event. They did not do that. They said, Pisces, do this event. Coming in very good. There is something that you're not aware of right now, and that's, I'm assuming, okay, because otherwise they'd make you aware of it. So there's something, you don't have the whole picture here, Pisces. You don't know the whole scope of this yet. Maybe you don't, a lot of you, this event is coming later in the month, like, maybe toward the very end, right before August hits, something like that, because they're saying a lot of you probably don't know what I'm talking about right now. And that's okay, because that's why you're here absorbing this message right now, so it makes sense to you later, right? So now you're ready for it. Now what they do show here is this may be unattached to the event too. Let me just throw that out there. This may just be little drama stuff at work, maybe in the home, the family, something like that. But what they show next is just getting over this kind of stuff. A lot of Pisces are working on settling the drama in the bottom half of July here as we get into August. And this is like Spirit presents this like little human drama stuff. This is not a big deal at all. It doesn't mean it doesn't feel that way to you. Maybe this feels like a huge deal. Maybe you got like huge drama going on with work or your family, or at least it feels that way to you. Spirit is saying, you know what? In the big picture here, that's not a big deal at all. So anyway, it's in a good position because it is resolving. So we have a resolution there for Pisces as we close out July. Now we're moving into Aquarius. That is going to be a deck change. This deck is expired. Jumping into this deck, which needs to be ritual cut. Quickly, I'll slice it into 3 parts like a ninja, put it back together, and then we're ready for some Pisces. I'm sorry, Aquarius. Aquarius, end of July. And is that a person? No. Okay. All right, we are ready for some Aquarius. Sorry, I misspoke earlier. But the first thing they want to talk about here is a message coming in like right now. For some of you, this may have already happened, and they're just kind of reinforcing by talking about it again. But this is my air message. Is it my Page of Swords? So this is my messenger through the air. So what is a air message? Well, it's something like a text message, something like an email, a very important email. I always tell my people to check your old emails when this card comes up. It may be an old email account, something important going in there that you may have missed if we didn't talk about it right here, right now. So very important stuff there. Also an important phone call. So just be ready for that. And for some of you, they're letting me know you've already had this. So it's just Spirit's way of saying, hey, you remember that phone call? Or hey, you remember that important email? Or hey, maybe a new text message that came through, something very important in there they want to bring attention to and kind of shine the light on that for you. Pay a lot of attention to it. We also have the Justice card come in. This is the second sign that has had the Justice card too. So a lot of legal type of things can be had here in the secondary part of July for my Aquariuses. But more than that, this is a karmic card too. But let me go back to the legal for a second, because this could be like some kind of court case, something going on legally, something with the police. Maybe this is something that is like a contract, an agreement, anything you put your signature on can come up for the Justice card here. So it is a pretty big bubble of things that can be. But this comes in very good. They're not telling you to worry about it at all. It's coming in good. So it's either like resolving itself end of July, or maybe starting for some people the end of July. But you should do this, whatever this is, coming in very nice and good. If it is the energetic definition, this is a return on karma to you. It's like a boomerang. So whatever you've been putting out there is going to come back. Hopefully it's good things, Aquarius. I feel like it is for you guys. The next thing they show here is the Queen of Cups on an invert. It is blocking my Queen here out. So it is saying really there is a lot of Aquariuses here that really need to put the energy into the family right here. The home environment, the family, your core group, maybe even friends, anybody close to your heart can come in here, but that is the focus of what they want you to do and put your heart into. And also relationships for some people, put your time and effort into the relationships or your love life or whatever you're trying to do there. It's showing kind of a neglect there, Aquarius, so they want to get that adjusted. It's saying, hey, put the energy right here, Aquarius. That's what you got to do. So there we go. Aquarius, the end of July. Next up is Capricorn. Capricorn coming in hot. And they literally did come in hot my first part of July. And let's see what has changed since. Huge theme to start with for my Cappies. First thing that comes in is my Chariot card, which is the car of transportation. It could be a car for most people. They could be talking about a car or however you get around. Something important there. For a lot of you, this does have a secondary definition, so bear with me. But if it's talking about a car, it's coming in very good. So maybe doing something maintenance with the car, doing a repair with the car that is needed, or maybe for some of you getting a new car. Something to consider late part of July. If this is the energetic definition here, what they're telling my great Cappies is that the energy is doing a little bit of this. We got the horses running in different directions in the Chariot card, so you really need to do more of this tunnel vision. Really just focus on one thing here, Cappies. Don't get too scattered. Don't be focusing on, 5 things at a time like you Capricorns like to do right here. End of July, it's time to focus on one thing. Whatever is the most prominent and most important thing for you to deal with right now. That's what Spirit is saying. Hey, do that and let all the other stuff go. The other stuff is distractions right now for you. Now, they do talk about the tribe with my Oracle Angel card. That is a family card in your core group. So doing things with this group is big for you guys at the end of July, and I would encourage you to do that. Hang out with old friends, reconnect with old friends, go see some family members, all that stuff coming in very nicely. They do show new love coming in as well for my Cappies, so that is very promising for those of you who are single. There's a huge influence of new love right on the on the cusp here, right on the brink of August. And this is also just, if you're in a relationship, it is moving perhaps in a better state. It's just love flowing everywhere, so it's all good energy, guys. We love to see that. They do show the Emperor cards next, looking right at the love, so it's basically saying you have good control of this. You have become the boss of maybe your emotions, of what you're doing with your love life, or with your family, your core group. Everything is coming in very good there. A huge authority boost, and we want a continuation of that. Whenever we have good stuff in tarot, we want more of it, and that's what they're saying here, Cappies, is just keep being the boss, keep owning it, holding yourself accountable for the good things you do, and also the negative things too, to adjust those and fix those. So you guys are in pretty good position here as we get into August. So that wraps up there. We get into some Taurus. Taurus is next. Okay, Taurus, for the secondary part of the month, we start by talking about some new ideas are needed for Taurus. Taurus, we need to start thinking of new ways of doing things right here, right now. New ideas, new inspiration, and less of the old. The old stuff's just got to go. Maybe it's played out, maybe it's used up, and we just need to start doing some things, some new ways here, new ideas, new inspirations as we wrap up July. The next thing they show here is a work message, work notification actually coming in now. Some of you already have had this. It's work, basically your work corner is a big place. It's work, business, enterprise, area of study, collegiate courses, retirement if you're of that age. Also collegiate type stuff, learning new things, hobbies and interests for most people, the JOB, but you can see it's a big category there. So there is some kind of notification coming in there, something very important for a lot of you here, Tauruses, as we wrap up July. So pay attention to that. Something with work is coming in and letting you know maybe it's a sign from the universe about something with your work, or a direction you need to go with your work, or adding extra work, maybe subtracting. The next thing they show here is the Empress. So it's actually saying that new fertile ground lays here, guys. So that is why they want your focus and your eyes and your attention into that work corner, because there is some fertility going on there. The ground is very ripe. Ripe's not the right word, fertile is. The ground is very fertile for you guys. So a lot of opportunities, a lot of growth can be had as we wrap up July. So guys, focus on that work corner. There we go, Taurus. And that deck is expired. We're going to get rid of it and purge it and move into actually this deck as well. The Oracle Angel card deck is also done. Get that out of our way, and now we're getting into some Aries. Aries kicking off our next deck, both decks, so we're going to ritual cut them both. Slice them, dice them into thirds, put them back together in a separate order, and we're ready to run them. Ready to run for Aries. End of July. Short and sweet for my Aries. You guys got the simplest read. Spirit must think you're in a pretty good spot here. Not a lot of information needed for my Aries right now, but what they do show here is very authoritative with your mind, being in a very good headspace, mental capacity, mental health. A lot of you are. So we want more of that, Aries, okay? For others of you, that is what you need to work on here as we wrap up July. That is very important for a lot of my Aries, one way or the other. So it's coming in good for most of you. And if you feel like, you know what, I'm just not one of those Aries, my headspace is a mess right now, that's what you got to focus on. Very simple there. Now, they do show a lot of Aries are dealing with some lessons, returning lessons, hopefully not learning things the hard way. They don't really show that. They show you guys are moving pretty well with this, but it's still lessons from the past that are coming in the secondary part of July, something that you guys are going to have to maybe deal with again, something that you've done before, maybe something cyclical that is just kind of returning to you. And here you go. You got to deal with this one more time, something like that. So there we go, Aries, good read. Next up comes Sagittarius. Okay, Saggies, we are 2/3 block. I'm going to do a discard, and they want it that way. All right, Saggies, we start with one path. One thing going on right now that is important for my Sagittarius is everything else is a distraction, it's noise, and we don't want it. Spirit wants your eyes and your heart. They're telling me for a lot of you, this is heart-driven thing, something you feel very deeply about, emotionally about, needs to be set on one thing here, whether it's one goal, one person, one agenda, whatever this is for you. Saggies, get focused on one thing as we wrap up July. The next thing they show, a lot of you have a lot of work stuff coming in to your reading, and they want you to be very authoritative with this. So it takes a firm control of whatever you got going on in that work corner, which is a large place, work, business, enterprise, area of study, collegiate courses, retirement if you're of that age. For most people, the JOB, but also hobbies and interests and learning new things. All that comes up into that work corner. So whatever that is about for you, they're basically saying be firm here, be authoritative, be the boss, take control of this work corner. And they also show a lot of you Saggies are here are getting rid of or overcoming some kind of physical something or others, some kind of being beaten up a little bit here. Maybe you're overcoming an injury, maybe you hurt yourself in the recent past, and now you're kind of getting over that. You're healing, so to speak. You're on the mend. Or maybe work's got you beaten up. Maybe your family's got you beaten up a little bit here. Maybe you got emotional stress, some mental stress going on. But either way, they're showing here you're getting over the beaten up part. So we're getting Saggies into a more clearer path here as we get into August. There we go. Saggies done. And we get into some Leo. All my fire signs are getting the same deck. Forgot to mention that. Here we go, Leo. I don't think that's ever happened before either. Leo also got an easy read. That must be why. They're using my simple deck here for my fire signs. My fire signs are in great shape here as we wrap up July. Now, what they show for Leos is there is a little bit of boredom going on here. You know, maybe things need to get a little more interesting here for you. Maybe they've gotten a little platonic, a little ho-hum, a little boring right here. But that's okay because that's what they're telling you to do here. Find something to get interested in. That is huge. Huge for my Leos. You got to be interested in something, Leo, or you're just going to drive yourself nuts. Maybe get a new hobby or interest, or maybe just go do something you haven't done in a while. Do whatever you got to do to break up this monotony and get back on track. Now, for some of you, they do talk about a big purchase, so maybe that'll do it for some of you, is to, you go and buy something huge here. And this is usually a fun purchase. This is not like something you got to do, like, oh, the washing machine broke. I guess I got to go buy a new washing machine. For most people, that would not be fun. I guess some people really love doing the wash, and for them, that would be fun purchase. But for most people, this is a large, big, fun entertainment purchase, something that you really would enjoy, something like a new car, maybe a new TV, or whatever else it is that you really care about for entertainment, for having fun. That's what comes in. It's also Spirit's way of saying, kind of, if you've got a big purchase that is on the books, Leo, I wouldn't go make it just because I said this. But if it's something that you've been waiting to do, let's say you're due to buy a new car and you know it and you've just been waiting for the timing to be right or waiting to save up a certain amount of money or something like that, here Spirit is saying, you know what? This is the time. This is the opportunity. We got the purse being open, the wallet being open, big money being spent there for my Leos. All right, let's move into some Libra. We got to deck change that. So this deck is expired. I'm going to purge that real quickly. Ninja slice this deck into Libra, Gemini, and Scorpio. Here we go. Libra. Let's see what your end of July looks like. Short and sweet also. We're getting into my easier signs, evidently. And even though this is a simple energy, this is a pretty big punch here for a lot of my Libras. They show a lot of you are kind of going through some things here as July concludes. It's my war and chaos card, drama, mental anguish, going through some things, fighting the battles that need to be fought. Now, this is a reminder to you Libras that there are wins and there are losses in battle. You never just get a clean sweep. You got to deal with the wins and the L's, unfortunately. That is just this era for these last 2 weeks. The good news is that this is just a 2-week reading, and this energy is going to move away, probably by August. But the next thing they show here is a card of being a little bit confused, but it's also that this is starting to get a little clarity here. This is basically showing a lot of you Libras looking up and like, what, wondering what is going on? What do I got to do about this? How am I going to deal with this circumstance, this situation? And just, this is the time, Libra, when this is you're starting to figure this stuff out. Maybe the universe is giving you the signs necessary so you can make the decisions that are best for you or whatever. But regardless, the puzzle is starting to come together for you guys here. You're feeling it in your heart, what is right. And if you are between your head and your heart in a decision, let me just tell you, Libras, this is the time to follow your heart, because that is a cup card, and cup is your heart. So there we go there, Libra, short and sweet. And now we get into some Gemini. Gemini wrapping up July. And another short and sweet one for my Geminis. Gemini, the first thing they want to talk about is what they also said for Virgo. I remember that because I am a Virgo, and that is a message that resonates with me quite strongly, and this is one for the home. The home environment needs the energy here, Gemini. Maybe it's Gemini's working on a home project, putting money into the home, putting time into the home and the family, basically the environment that you spend your time with. They show a lot of Geminis doing that here as we wrap up July, coming in very good. Also for some of you, maybe your quiet time in your home, your whatever space is to yourself, spending more time there. Something like, your little shed or your little man cave or whatever the female version of that would be. Maybe, redoing something with the bathroom or doing something there for yourself. Now, the next thing we show here for Gemini is that there are some icicles in the hair. And that is what I call this card. This is my 9 of Swords. And in this deck specifically that they wanted to use for you, this is a card about being a little bit uncomfortable. If you can imagine what it would feel like having ice cubes in your hair, probably doesn't feel very good unless you're an Eskimo or something, or a polar bear. It's not going to feel very comfortable. So they're letting you know, Geminis, it's not about feeling comfortable right now. It's actually probably to be the opposite. It's probably the universe is pushing you to be a little uncomfortable so that you step up and make the changes that are necessary, especially the ones that are in your mind. Getting your head right and getting your head around goals and trying to figure out the things that you need to do. It's not so much about actually doing them right here, Gemini, except for the home. The home says, go ahead and do that now. But the other stuff here, it's like make a plan. Make goals. Figure out how you're going to do this. Doesn't mean you have to do it right this second. Of course not. But maybe get it ready for something like August. This can also be a card about sickness. Hopefully that's none of you. But just because I have to be thorough to the definitions of the card, that card does mean sickness. So something like a virus, a bacteria, something or other. Hopefully just a small cold, if that's what they're talking about for you guys. Hopefully nothing major, but sickness does come in. And also, Gemini, if you're around sick people, try to stay away, especially as July wraps up, because there is prone contagions going on there. Next, we get into Scorpio, guys. Scorpio's going to wrap us up here. And another short and sweet. So we've done something like, 5 in a row that were short and sweet. So we just continue the trend here for Scorpio. The first thing they talk about is an event coming in on a block. So it's an event that is not here yet, but is going to be very fun for you Scorpios to go do. And you should absolutely do this. Because the social aspect comes in very good. The next card I have is social camaraderie. It's like people spending time together, having a good time, maybe drinking, partying, going out, spending some money, doing fun things is what comes in there. So it's coming in very good, but the event is coming in blocked. So maybe there's something, it's either on a delay, like it's coming in a little bit later than you expect, or there's something in there that is just pushing it out, or something doesn't play out the way it's supposed to, or there's some kind of X factor that we don't know about. But the social card is coming in very good. Anytime that card comes in, if it's blocked, I usually remind you kind of about the bad stuff here, but here I want to remind you of the good. I want to remind you how important that it is to have a good social health. And that's what Spirit talks about here. And it's a great opportunity for Scorpios to do that. So get out of your bubble a little bit, Scorpio, and go have some fun. So that is going to conclude all of our signs. We have been through them all here for part 2 of July. It has been a big one, and I appreciate you joining. I'm back on YouTube, like I said, and we have a very large, very huge survey going on that is going to decide the path of the way that the readings go in the future. So I ask that you all take part in that. Cast your vote, the parts of the reading you like, don't like. The survey is available on my website, scottsagent.com. You click the apple at the top. It'll take you right to the survey, and it's only 5 questions. It takes about 30 seconds, and I appreciate your feedback very much. And that is going to play out how the readings are for the future. So please do all of that. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please remember to like and subscribe so you see the future readings. Take care. Have a great July, and I'll see you guys in August.